Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the talented actor and author, and recently did his work in Ben 10, the video game, and the cartoon on the Cartoon Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Yuri Lowenthal. Woo! Yuri, high fives. You're finally on the show.
I know. I've been waiting.
You have, but you've been so busy.
Outside the studio, huddled in a blanket.
Yes. You've been so busy. Like, you look at your IMDb, it's extensive. You've done, like, I don't know, a handful of projects just this year.
At least half of those are true.
Which one isn't true?
For the record, Nightwing, not Wing. That's a rumor. I don't. But I keep getting people calling me up about it.
Yes, Ben 10. So you're the voice in the video game as well as the cartoon.
Yes. As a matter of fact, on the video game, I got to go one step further and actually voice one of the aliens as well, which I don't usually get to do on the show. That's usually D. Bradley Baker's thing. He plays all the aliens because he's a genius, and possibly from another planet himself. So,
I mean, most people that come to LA, they want to be actors, you know, and they get into the hustle. They start off as extras and commercials, and then, like, what sparked your interest in to do voice?
Well, I came with the same passions, and I wanted to be an actor, you know, in film and TV. And we had my wife Tara, who was also an actor. We'd come out from New York, and we were trying to hit it on all angles. And she said, "Well, what about voiceover?" And I said, "Well, I don't know anything about voiceover." She said, "Well, maybe we should take a class." And so we did. We took an intro class. I mean, you know, I'd grown up watching cartoons and doing crazy voices and just making my own radio shows and things like that since I was a kid, but I never really thought that was a job somehow. And took the class and made a demo and started sending it out, and one little job led to another little job, and so on and so forth, and it's amazing. I love it.
So you've also done Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And how many characters are you?
Several.
Several. No, you have a number you threw at me earlier.
Yeah, but that was a guess. You know, you can play the game and you let me know. You can start your own little side game, which is tallying every time you hear a character voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
There's got to be an achievement unlocked for that.
Yeah,
because there's over 200. Come on,
it's ridiculous.
It's something ridiculous.
But they had somewhere in the neighborhood of like 60,000 lines of dialogue to record for it, and that may be a conservative estimate.
Is that normal to do multiple characters in a title?
Yeah, because it's hard for a game company to afford to hire an actor per character, because the worlds have become so rich and dense and huge, and they want you to go off and talk to everybody, that you can't. It's hard. So you have to get to actors who are willing to do various different characters.
That's what Guillermo del Toro does with Doug Jones.
Yes, I love Doug.
Just uses them multiple times.
Might as well. You know, you can count on him. I mean, that's another thing too. If you find somebody you can count on him for a certain thing, you'll put him on the speed dial. What
is your favorite character you've played?
That's always an impossible question.
I know, but it has to be answered.
But it has to. Well, it has to be asked, and I will do my best to answer it. I can't give one. I played Superman on Legion of Superheroes, and you know, growing up, you know, a big comic book nerd, that was sort of a huge triumph, and I don't know how I'll ever top. But I love playing Ben. I mean, Ben is the gift that keeps on giving. That show keeps going and going, and he's fun and keeps evolving. And
what do you like best about Ben 10?
He fulfills every dream, you know, that any kid would want, you know, at that age, and by that age I mean my age. You know, he's a kid who's got a watch. He can turn into all these different aliens. I mean, he's got powers. I've always, you know, fantasized about stuff like that, and he gets to do it, and he gets to be pretty snarky along the way. So, which is something I'm not really in real life. So I get to act out.
You are. I've seen your tweets. They're a bit snarky.
Shut up. That's true. On the Twitter, I'm snarkier than in person.
#snarky tweet. What is your dream character to play?
That's also a tough question, because I'll think of characters in movies that I love, and I'll go, I want to play. I would have loved to play Mr. Orange in Reservoir Dogs, but wait, you know, he was so good. Then I go off to another one, and the reason I love those characters is because the person who originated them.
Yeah.
I would love to, like, if I could create it would be sort of this weird, probably period, you know, in the world of H.P. Lovecraft, you know, with fedoras and Tommy guns and the elder gods. You know, I mean, it would be
so romantic,
isn't it?
You're also an author. You and your wife, Tara.
Yes.
Very lovely lady.
She is. She is.
You guys have a very successful book.
Yeah.
I subscribe to your newsletter. I get every month. Great advice.
Thank you. Because we got a lot of questions from people when we started doing more of this kind of work. We'd start getting emails from fans and other friends of ours who are also acting, like, hey, I want to get into voiceover. How do I get into voiceover? And we tried to respond to everybody in the beginning, and then it got to be too much, and so we wrote a book to make our lives easier. I don't know.
Yeah. And you got some good third-party credibility here. Phil Lamar says, people always ask me for advice on how to get started in the VO biz. My advice is get this book. That's huge.
Phil Lamar is a very suggestible human being.
Yeah.
No, he's a swell guy. And, we have one of the great things, or one of the things that I love about this book is that we got a bunch of other people besides ourselves, so it wasn't just us talking, to do anecdotes and war stories and helpful hints and stuff throughout the book. Engineers and actors and directors and casting people and so on.
Yuri, it was a pleasure. It's having you on the show. It's been long overdue.
I will come back in a heartbeat. I've always wanted to be on your show, and we'll come back in an instant.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Certainly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yuri Lowenthal.
Oh, God.
Woo!
Any other questions?
What is it like working with your wife? I hate working with my wife.
I know,
I hate
right?
it. Like, when she got a cameo on Goodnight's Quest, I felt so bad for the cast and crew.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even work on the episodes that she worked on, and I still felt bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel worse for you, for your wife, or worse for me, for my wife. Maybe we should just get married.
Yeah.
You have all the same DVDs that I do.
You have the same action figures as I do.
It's kind of... Is the camera still on now? We were just joking.
That was the sketch for the week.
That was the sketch. Twitter questions? We have any Twitter questions?
This is a good book. Tell the kids at home who Van Von Hunter is.
Van Von Hunter is a roguish, swashbuckling fantasy guy from the land of decay who finds himself in Hollywood at the time when they're making a movie based on his exploits, which they thought was only really a comic book. And then they find out that the guy is real and have no choice but to cast him as himself.
And you look like Chris Hardwick.
You're not the first person to have mentioned that.
Who else mentioned that?
Will Wheaton.
At Will W.
At Will W. He knows...
At Nerdist.
At Felicia Day. Just saying Felicia Day on your show, you get like 1 million hits, right?
Oh, dude,
isn't that how it goes?
Don't say her name. She will retweet it and it will crash the servers.
We'll crash the internet. Well, what word could we put in instead of... Because in the end, you're going to have to edit out when I say Felicia Day. Felicia Day. Like a chicken satay.
Chicken satay.
So every time I say Felicia Day, you can just say chicken satay.
Can you do those voiceovers?
Am I making this episode the most expensive episode by just saying Felicia Day?
We literally have zero budget.
My card's full. Just
I think we're good.